If you think $1 million is enough to retire, you might be 20 years behind. There's a new number quietly taking over retirement planning, and it's $3.2 million. Not because it sounds impressive, not because it's trendy, but because the math shows it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why $3.2 million is the perfect retirement number and whether you actually need it. And stick around because $3.2 million might not be the perfect number for you. It could be more, it could be less. Let's hop right in. We should first talk about why $3.2 million is the perfect retirement number and why you may have seen it in headlines. Surveys say Americans now believe they need over $3 million to retire comfortably. Financial firms like Fidelity Investments regularly publish data showing that retirement expectations keep climbing. But here's what most articles never explain. It's not about the $3.2 million. It's about what the $3.2 million produces. So let's break it down. The number comes from a simple rule that's been around for decades, often associated with research like the Trinity study, which is one of the most cited pieces of retirement research in modern financial planning and is also the reason the 4% rule exists. You've probably heard of the 4% rule, right? The idea is straightforward. You withdraw 4% of your portfolio in your first year of retirement, adjust for inflation each year, and historically, your money will last you around 30 years in most market conditions. Now let's apply it. 3.2 million multiplied by 4% equals $128,000 per year. That's about $10,600 per month. Now the number makes sense. $3.2 million isn't magical. It just generates about $128,000 a year without aggressively touching principal. And for many upper middle class households, that's the income number that feels comfortable. So why does $128,000 per year feel right? Let's talk lifestyle. When you retire, you don't need to replace your entire working income. You're no longer paying payroll taxes, contributing to retirement accounts, commuting daily, paying for work clothes, and even possibly carrying a mortgage. In other words, a household earning $160,000 while working might only need $120,000 to $130,000 to maintain the same lifestyle in retirement, because some of those costs above are likely no longer an expense for a retired individual. And that's exactly what $3.2 million generates at 4%. It lands in a comfort zone. Not luxury yacht money, not scraping by. Just stable, flexible, comfortable. Now let's go deeper. There's another reason this income level works so well. Taxes. If you're married filing jointly in the US, around $120,000 to $130,000 in retirement income usually keeps you in the 22% federal tax bracket. You're not jumping into the higher 24% or 32% brackets. Your effective tax rate may end up closer to 12 to 15%, depending on how your money is structured. And if part of your portfolio is in taxable brokerage accounts, long-term capital gains are often taxed at 0% or 15%, depending on your total income. That makes this income range surprisingly efficient. It avoids feeling high income from a tax standpoint while still funding a comfortable life. There's also something called IRMAA, which are Medicare premium surcharges that kick in when income crosses certain thresholds. So many retirees aim to keep income below major jump points to avoid these premium surcharges. Guess where $120,000 to $130,000 often sits? Right below the big cliffs. Again, not magical, just strategically positioned. All right, so let's talk about the psychological safety factor for why $3.2 million is the perfect retirement number. Now let's be honest, retirement planning isn't just math, it's emotional. When people hear $1 million, they think that's not enough anymore. $2 million, maybe, but what if inflation keeps rising? $3 million plus, okay, now I feel safe. $3.2 million feels precise, calculated, and intentional. It sounds like someone ran the numbers carefully. And psychologically, it represents protection against inflation, cushion against market crashes, margin for healthcare surprises, and flexibility if you live into your 90s. That margin changes how retirement feels. Instead of worrying every market downturn might derail your life, you have breathing room. And breathing room equals freedom. We should also consider the reality of inflation and what it does to your retirement savings number. A decade ago, $2 million sounded like a luxury retirement. But inflation changed everything. In other words, healthcare costs have risen, housing has surged, and travel is more expensive. If inflation averages just 3% over 25 years, purchasing power erodes dramatically. What used to require $2 million may now require $3 million plus to maintain the same comfort. So $3.2 million reflects modern cost realities, not extravagance. With that said, is $3.2 million a perfect number for everyone? Here's where we need to get real. The truth is, there is no universal perfect number. If you only need $80,000 per year in retirement, you don't need $3.2 million. The formula is simple. Annual spending times 25 will give you how much money you need to live your rich retirement life. So if you use the same 4% framework, you will need $2 million if you spend $80,000 per year, $2.5 million if you spend $100,000 per year, and $3.2 million if you spend $128,000 per year. That's it. $3.2 million assumes you want roughly $128,000 annually from investments. If that's your number, great. If not, your target is different. So how do you know if $3.2 million is too much for you or not? If you live in a low-cost area, have no mortgage, have strong social security benefits, and spend modestly, you could retire comfortably with far less. Overshooting your target could mean working longer than necessary, and years of your life are worth more than arbitrary numbers. And what about when $3.2 million might not be enough? On the flip side, if you plan to retire early, say in your 50s, the 4% rule may be too aggressive. Many early retirees use 3 to 3.5%. At 3%, $3.2 million produces only $96,000 per year. Very different outcome. Timing matters, lifestyle matters, and structure matters. So here's the real reason for why this general rule of thumb works for your retirement number. The reason $3.2 million keeps showing up is not because of a secret government rule. It's because at a 4% withdrawal rate, it generates an income level that feels comfortable, sits in manageable tax brackets, avoids major retirement cliffs, provides psychological security, and accounts for inflation. It's not magic, it's alignment. Alignment between spending, tax efficiency, and safety margin. So in summary, is $3.2 million the new perfect retirement number? For many American households who want around $120,000 to $130,000 per year in retirement income, yes, it fits beautifully. But the real question isn't whether you actually need $3.2 million. The real question is, how much do I actually need to fund my lifestyle with confidence? Run your spending numbers, multiply by 25, and adjust for your timeline. That's your number. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What's your retirement target right now? Because the sooner you define it, the sooner it stops feeling abstract and starts feeling achievable. If you like this video, here are 2 other videos that you might like.